What's good? It's Slight on the Insta Wrestlers burner. Shout out everybody that's here. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, share. Shout out everybody that watched my last video where basically I just went over all-star starters. I do remember going in that video and saying that Kevin Durant shouldn't be a all-star. And I just need to clarify because I did have somebody hit me up afterwards saying like, yo, Slight, what did you mean by that? I didn't mean KD shouldn't be an all-star. I'm just saying I wasn't sure whether he should be an all-star or not. Starter. All-star starter. Almost made the same mistake again. All-star starter. But if you think that's crazy, please go watch that video. Link will be in the comments, if not in the bio. I still gotta wait for my account to be verified so I can post links in the bio. We'll see. But please check that video out if you think that's crazy. I also put in that video whether Steph should be an all-star starter or not over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But guess we'll never know. Check that video out. But with all that being said, y'all are here for a reason. As you can tell by the title, by the thumbnail of the video, we're going to discuss whether the Warriors should keep James Wiseman or not. Now, if you don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't know, but James Wiseman just dropped 30 points on the Brooklyn Nets. And there's been a lot of reactions over Twitter, as you could tell from the tweet inside the thumbnail. Some people are saying James Wiseman is a good NBA player. He just doesn't fit the Warriors system. Now, I wrote some notes. I've watched a lot of film on James Wiseman. I looked at some stats just to go over, just so I had a good understanding of everything. And first things first, I want y'all to know that he may have dropped 30, but they lost by 30. And if you watch that game, you'll see that the Warriors, man, they gave up so many threes. I think I looked at the stats. They dropped 21 of 33 threes on the Warriors, the Brooklyn Nets, and they shot like 68%, I think, from three. So it was just crazy. The defense was terrible. One of the things I paid attention to a lot in that game is James Wiseman defense was insanely bad. And I remember I was watching one of the clips, Kevin Durant, he came up, did a crossover, I think step back on James Wiseman, nasty right in his face, mid-range shot. And honestly, from all the film I've watched, that's just been a little bit of a trend. I've been noticing, like, with James Wiseman, his defense is not good. Like, it's not good. And it's not even just, it's not good because he's not a good defender, but his defense is just like, he's always looking lost on the floor. His thing is he's always looking lost on the floor. I've seen a couple of films, like, not even films. I've seen a couple of clips where, for example, James Wiseman, he got checked into the game, and there's a video on YouTube where it's just like 2 to 3 minutes straight of James Wiseman just being called out by Steve Kerr and being taken out the game for all those bad rotations he did on defense. I saw one of the clips, he straight up was in the paint. He let his the player that he was defending get right into the basket, and he didn't come up until they were about to take the shot. But by then, he's always just so slow on the rotation. And the thing that I've just seen through all my notes that I keep putting is just, he looks like a rookie. Now, I'll tell you one thing, James Wiseman only played about 39 games his rookie season. So he's still, in my opinion, still trying to understand the ropes and all. Like, you got to understand, like, when James Wiseman was getting drafted, his main thing was being drafted number 2 overall because he was a number 1 overall in a high school scouting. And the thing is, he played for Memphis, but he only played like a couple of games. I forget why he had stopped playing with Memphis. I don't remember the whole story, but I remember it was crazy when it happened. But anyways, they just saw a lot of potential in James Wiseman, and that's why he was selected number 2 overall. And I know a lot of people might be like, well, why did y'all grab a center? Obviously, Warriors run a lot of small ball, catch and shoot threes, awesome pick and pops. And Wiseman, if you watch his game, he's not really much of a shooter. Like, even in this game where he dropped 30, he got most of his buckets from getting lobs thrown at him. A lot of his signature dribble, spin, dunks inside the paint. And he had like one post like I seen him do. So as you can tell, he's mostly like a paint-oriented player. So obviously, his thing has really always just been scoring in the paint, and the Warriors thing has always just been spreading the floor. Now, in terms of whether he should or shouldn't be on the team because of that, I'm here to say that I think James Wiseman just needs more time, and he needs to just really buy into the Warriors. Like I said, I have seen different moments. If you've seen, like, even right now, he's shooting 50% right now from the 3-point range. He's only taken, I think, 2 threes so far. So this was his second make period this whole season. I mean, his first make period this whole season. So I think he still has some time. Still has some time to develop. I understand why some people might be frustrated. Like, I seen a tweet. I'm gonna show y'all right here. All right. So here we have the tweet that I saw on Twitter. I know that a lot of content creators don't tend to show NBA clips. I know the NBA will try to claim their content, but just so you know, basically what happens in this clip, a player comes down, he dishes the ball to James Wiseman, he comes in and dunks the ball aggressively. And here Champ Lion says, Wiseman doesn't attempt to do stuff like this in the NBA game. As soon as he steps on the floor, he loses any type of toughness and physicality. I'm here to disagree, because honestly, after watching a bunch of clips of James Wiseman, I can personally say there's plenty of clips. You can find plenty of clips of James Wiseman getting aggressive and dunking the ball. And it's crazy because that's all he really does. I understand some people feel like it's not consistent, because one thing that I have also noticed in my notes is that he just doesn't look confident. But let's be honest, it's only his second year of actually playing in the NBA. He's only going to look so confident. I mean, right now, I feel like James Wiseman is struggling with the idea of realizing he's not going to be the star player on this team. He's not going to be the star player of this team. I mean, Steph Curry's still here. Klay Thompson's starting to have a resurgence of a little, of his 3-point shooting from coming off the injury. And obviously, Jordan Poole is probably the next player they're going to build through. So James Wiseman is honestly looking at it as if, what am I here to do? And that's why I love that he had this 30-point game. I mean, Steve Kerr even said he loved watching him gain confidence throughout the game and really get his shots up. Because I feel like, with him not being able to get the ball consistently and being the star player of the team, I understand his frustration, because he'll be inside the G League where he'll put up, I think he's averaging like 19 points or so in the G League right now. And he really feels like he's a star of that team whenever he's out there. And I can understand it's just such a different environment when you come in and now it's like, all right, move fast, make rotations. I just want to say, let's just look at somebody else who's also had to adjust to playing differently. I'm sure a lot of you know about Andrew Wiggins playing on the Timberwolves. At some point, he was averaging like 24, 25 points. I remember he had a crazy season. And he kept getting all these different comparisons to Kobe, taking mid-range shots, taking post fadeaways, and all sorts of shots like that. And obviously, it never really translated to winning basketball. Fast forward now, we got Andrew Wiggins on the Golden State Warriors, and you see that he's now taking more of a role of spotting up, cuts. Basically, he's just playing his role, and it's crazy because how efficient has Andrew Wiggins been this season? All right, so if you can see here right now in this season, he's actually shooting 45% from the 3 and 51%. I think this is a career high all around. Yeah, it is. I mean, his free throw shooting is down this year, but overall, it's just nice seeing Andrew Wiggins take a different role. The thing is that he's really buying into the team, and I think that's honestly the issue with James Wiseman. He just doesn't want to buy into the team. I feel like he might be seeing all the tweets and the whole social media interaction and just seeing how everybody kind of thinks he's a bust. I saw a tweet the other day that was saying like James Wiseman has to go down as the Darko Milicic. I don't know if I said Darko's last name right, but the Darko Milicic of the draft, because the same way how like I think the first overall pick was Anthony Edwards, of course, and then afterwards you got like Pat Williams and different players like that. Even Pat Williams, who hasn't even really had a great start to his career either. But either way, I just think it's unfair right now to say that he's a bust. Obviously, he hasn't been put in the best situation because he thought he would be the main player. But I think right now, from everything I've seen, like if you notice anything about James Wiseman's game, if you watch from that 30-point game, Steve Kerr put him in the game like in like shorts of minutes, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. He was kind of like easing them in, and I understand why he's doing it, because if you really look on the floor, he's trying to put Wiseman in the best situation possible. You would think like as a rookie center, well, coming off his second year pretty much, since he didn't play his real second year, he's still trying to learn the offense. He's still trying to figure out what his role is on this team. And I like that Kerr put him in little amounts of minutes. I know, like, in the first half, he didn't miss a single shot. If you notice, like, within the second half, obviously he missed 2 shots, but he wasn't playing as well as he was playing before. And again, they lost by 30. Obviously, like I said, he has to do better in terms of becoming a better defender. But I look at it from players such as Andrew Bogut, and I just think, like, James Wiseman can play this role. James Wiseman can find a spot on this team. It's just a matter of whether he gets that opportunity or not. I mean, he's had a couple of different plays. Obviously, he's not no Nikola Jokic or no player, but I mean, he had a nice handoff to I think Jordan Poole in the corner, and he hit a 3. And he had a nice, I forget who it was. I think he dished it out to Moses Moody, and Moses Moody made a 3. But I think if he just play that role of just being a passive first, like, team first player, he can definitely work on the Warriors. I don't think it's a matter of him needing to be traded to another team. I've seen some mock trades where we're saying they should trade him for Kyle Kuzma, PJ Washington, or Jakob Poeltl, but I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, we're 2 years in and we're already trying to say, oh, let's trade him to another team. I just don't think it's worth it. I just think he needs a little bit more time. Let me look at my notes and see what else that I have. Oh, yeah, another thing to take away from the 30-point game, just so I don't forget it. Jordan Poole has 7 turnovers, and he shot like 4 for 17. I think another thing that's important probably is to notice that a lot of the defense on the net side was all focused on Jordan Poole and making them feed the other people. And I think, honestly, this is probably the best thing to happen because this is probably going to raise his confidence in terms as a player. I did hear in one of his interviews that he said that, honestly, what he got out of this whole game is that he needs the ball more. I personally don't think that's what needs to happen. I think obviously need to involve him more offensively, but I think of like Andrew Bogut again. He came from the Bucks, I think averaging like 16 and 10 and like 2 blocks or so, to coming on the Warriors, not averaging as much obviously, but playing a significant role, just being a rim protector, a glass cleaner. And I think that's all that really needs to happen. I mean, obviously Wiseman needs to gain some confidence all around. Like I was watching again in the Nets game, the same Nets game. Moses Moody went up for a layup. He missed a shot. And Wiseman is standing there right there open for the rebound. And instead, Moses Moody, he comes back. He's the only one being aggressive and showing that love for the game. Going to get the board, passes the ball like to Wiseman. And, Wiseman, he dunks it in or lays it in. I forget which. But it's just the assertiveness. The assertiveness just isn't there. Him looking lost on the floor. It's just, it's a lot of things, honestly, I feel like with Wiseman. I feel like we can't just really chalk it all up to him being in the wrong system. At a certain point, you got to take a second to step back and just be like, yo, Wiseman, play like you're the second overall pick. I know it might hurt to be in the G League and it might be mentally challenging, but honestly, I feel like the Warriors really are trying to work with him. Even again, that Sixers game I watched. It's crazy. Like me personally, when I was watching that game, I saw Wiseman get them dunks, and I saw that some of the rebounds he was getting where he only had 4 rebounds that game, but I saw some of the rebounds he were getting. It felt like, Wiseman was really a force on the floor. Obviously, I go back and I watch the highlights and I'm like, oh, damn, like, Wiseman could have played better. But I like seeing those short little moments where you really get to see, like, all right, this could really be a real player in the league for the Warriors. But I feel like he just needs to buy into the Warriors system. I think if he just focuses on not trying to be the player, but trying to be a team player, everything will work out. I mean, it all comes with having better emotion when it comes to his body, not being so upset because he did this and he did that. He's still learning. But everybody's treating James Wiseman like he's been in the league for like 5 years and just hasn't amounted to nothing. But in my honest opinion, like I said, you look at Andrew Bogut, he just needs to be that player that cleans up and does the little things. He needs to be able to grab those rebounds and be assertive. He needs to be able to make that extra pass instead of worrying about getting his own shot. But he also needs to be in the moment, and his IQ has to pick up when it's like, all right, these are the moments I need to be the guy. These are the moments I don't need to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's more of him needing to get the ball. I just think he needs to work on his confidence more. But, it's going to come in time. Like I said, it's only his real second year in the league. I think one more note that I forgot to mention about James Wiseman. Can't screen. Yes. Cannot screen. Um, I saw another play again from that Sixers game, and I just seen him because I was looking at the Sixers game and I was looking at some of his rookie highlights and just different things, just so I can get a better understanding of everything and how I wanted to attack this whole James Wiseman situation. During the Sixers game, he had like a weak screen. I forget who it was, but he got Klay Thompson open for the mid range. Obviously, the ref called it, and Wiseman obviously got the foul for it for the moving screen because he couldn't plant. It's just another thing. He keeps half doing these screens. I'm trying not to curse so bad, but he keeps half doing these screens. I even looked at some of his rookie highlights. He did like a little lazy screen, like he barely even set it and then ran straight to the rim. Overall, in short, it's just James Wiseman isn't setting really any good screens. You would think like within the next year, which would be his technical third year, but it's real like second NBA year, he would be doing better with the be so focused and give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. Because then you have those moments where, like I said, he's setting those screens and he's not really setting them. He's just set, go to the basket, throw the lob, dunk it, or pass me the ball, spin move, dunk it. So obviously, I just feel like overall it just comes with him needing to get more adjusted to the way how the Warriors play. As Steve Kerr always says, make the extra pass. And once he gets that down, I think he's going to be a great player in this team. I don't think the Warriors should trade him for any of the other pieces. I think honestly he's going to really, really come out and show everybody, he could do it on this team. But we'll see how it plays out. Maybe James Wiseman goes out and he gets traded and he gets his own team where he's able to really be the guy. I think if that happens, I think he would flourish. But I think honestly it'd be even beneficial earlier in his career to have that. Like I look at players like D'Angelo Russell. He obviously was amazing on the Brooklyn Nets before he got traded. But I always thinking about the moment where he was traded to the Warriors for that year or so. Everybody kind of looked at D'Lo like, yo, he doesn't fit the system. This isn't going to work. And then they forced him out. Well, not forced him out. Obviously, it was a better trade. The Warriors needed a wing. The Minnesota Timberwolves needed a point guard. But either way, within that time, I feel like he learned a lot from Draymond and Stephen Curry. And you looked at him now, and the Timberwolves obviously became too pass first oriented, and I'm not gonna look for my shot really type of player. But the more and more now he's playing, he's finding the shots and doing what he has to do. I feel like everybody can kind of benefit from playing on this team in some sort of way. So whether he was to start off on the Minnesota Timberwolves or whatever team he would have got drafted by, I feel like it's going to be beneficial long term that he has this experience with the Warriors and learns how to be one of those players that can find everybody, But if you disagree, please leave a comment below. Let me know what y'all thoughts are. Do you think James Wiseman should be traded? Do you think he should stay on this team? Do you think the 30-point game was a fluke? Let me know, please. And if you haven't already, please watch my last video about the all-star starters. Again, should Steph be the starter? I don't know. Watch the video. Let me know what y'all think. But appreciate y'all. I'll try to have another video out tomorrow. We'll see how things happen. Love y'all. Peace.